It was close to midnight. I was sitting there in the kitchen. Everyone in the house had gone to bed. My host mom stopped by the kitchen earlier and told me that, "Hey Josh, don't go to bed too late." I was staring at that 20-page short story that I couldn't understand, and I had to write an essay about it the next day. I cried that night, not loudly, just quietly, by myself in the kitchen. And around midnight, I told myself, I tried hard enough. It's time to go to bed. This is what my first year in Canada looks like. Before I tell you how I ended up in that kitchen table, let me tell you what happened before January 2018. Here is something that people don't understand about the English we learn in Taiwan. We never treat it as a language. We see it as a subject. It's like French in Canada. If you are not in French immersion, you don't speak French that well. You can only know so much that you get to pass your test, but can you survive in a conversation in French? I don't think so. And that was me. I could pass English tests in Taiwan. I actually got really good grades, but I never spoke it or listened that much. So of course I couldn't use it well in conversations. When I first arrived Canada in 2017, they put me in ESL. And honestly, it was easy, maybe too easy. The grammar they were teaching, I learned it all in Taiwan. But something good actually happened there because everyone was in the same level, so nobody would judge you when you make a mistake. Nobody's gonna make fun of you because of your accent. Honestly, that was the first moment that I finally felt confident speaking English in Canada. After 3 months, my host parents told me that I've been improving for the past 3 months, both speaking and listening. And I thought to myself, maybe I got this. Then January come, the reality hit fast. I was put into grade 9 English class, not ESL, grade 9 English class with Canadian. We're talking about people who speak English growing up and they use English their whole life. I remember the first day I walked into my classroom, I saw no international students except myself. And I was thinking, okay, great, let's see how it goes. It went badly. The confidence I built for the past few months in ESL got destroyed. The students were not in my level. Everyone was far better than where I was. There was a huge gap between me and other students. One day my teacher said, "Hi guys, I'm gonna give out a short story for you guys to finish reading by tomorrow." So I got the paper and I took a look. 20 pages. How can you call that a short story? I went home and I started reading. I really tried my best using Google Translate and all the tools I had, but I just couldn't understand. And that's the night I ended up at that kitchen table. But the reading wasn't the hardest part. For me, the most difficult part was writing. In Taiwan, we don't write the way Canadians do. We would write in sentences and not like essays. So I had no foundation. My essays were really bad. And I knew it was bad because a year after I looked back at the essays I wrote and I was like, holy cow, what was I doing? So there was one day that the whole class, we were in the library, we were just all typing our essays. And I had a question and I want to ask my teacher, Mrs. Stewart. I asked her, "Hey, does this make sense? Like what I'm writing, does it make sense to you?" And she told me that, "I don't know, Josh, you have to figure it out yourself." I was speechless and furious. Plus, I had no AI to help me. It was also a presentation that I did with a Japanese student who was put in that class after a few weeks. We stood in front of the classroom. We were holding a poster, a big poster, and we were trying to talk about what we wrote. Every few sentences I would lose some words, and I just couldn't elaborate the way I wanted to say. In the meanwhile, everyone was looking at us, and when I got stuck, it was just all silent. It was just silent that I felt. After the presentation, I made a promise to myself that one day I'm going to be really good at presenting in front of people. And I still haven't forgot about that very moment. By the end of the semester, I got the worst grade in my class. I mean, of course, I actually thought I was going to fail my English 9 class because every essay or every piece of homework I was barely passing. And here's something I want to mention. This is my version of studying abroad. It's not driving a Lamborghini, wearing designer clothes, and just living a luxury life, as many people imagine. I started from the third bottom. I always compare myself to other Taiwanese students, maybe 5 of them, who came through the Ministry of Education in Taiwan. They had the foundation, they had the resources, they had things I didn't have. I cry about not being able to finish a short story, and I had a teacher who told me that, oh, you can figure it out yourself. Most people who have studied abroad have never experienced something like this. And I'm not just saying that to complain. I'm saying this because if you're going through something like this, you struggle with the language, you struggle with being confident speaking the language, you feel like you're going downhill all the time and you don't feel like you're improving, and you just can't figure anything out. I want you to know that I was you at the kitchen table at midnight. You may be wondering, how can I speak like this right now? Because I kept going.